She called herself the perfect neighbor, but she ended up being the neighborhood nightmare. Susan Lorenz. Let's talk about it. They 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 talk about it. Welcome back to She Could Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Gangalee. Hey. And that's Gangalee on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out my music, look for the red glasses, look for the locks. You tell me if I can rap. Okay? And if you want, you can just go ahead and hit the links in the bio of this channel here. And you can go ahead and it'll take you quickly to the music. Okay? But over here on YouTube, on She Could Talk the Podcast, this is where I react to everything. I react to news, sports, crimes, musicians, politicians, YouTubers, TikTokers. If they're talking about it, I'm talking about it. Okay? Okay. So a couple of weeks ago, I want to say actually about a month ago, right? Because, sometimes things come out and, once it speaks to me is when I choose to react to it. So about 2 years ago now, 2023, it was a big thing. It made media, headline news of the not so friendly neighbors in Ocala, Florida, Susan Lorenz and Ajike Owens. And it was a feud over the children playing in Susan Lorenz's front yard, okay? And it ended up becoming fatal. And one's in jail and one's no longer here with us as a result of it. So I was familiar with the case roundabout because I am in Florida, right? So I did see a little bit pop up and I was like, okay, what's going on here? I saw the stand your ground, defense that was being used. And we was like, okay, this is, this seems interesting. And then you heard talks of it being racially motivated, right? And that made it even more heated. Like, oh, okay. So she was out there hating the black kids and it turned fatal. But I will say one thing. I saw the documentary on Netflix, and I want to say, not because of the crime or nothing like that, just the type of documentary it was. I have to give her a round of applause. It was probably newest of its kind because, as now we get into a social media realm, right? We get into a reality realm. We see a lot of body cam videos on YouTube, a lot of crime shows and etc. But this documentary was full on, completely, entirely made up of body cam footage and interrogation footage. That's it. When they did speak to people, it was like the voices of the people that were talking to the cops. There was no like direct face to camera conversation. It was all the body cam footage and all the notes put together. So I thought that was a very original, one of its kind type of style documentary where they just kind of edited it all together to tell this story. When they put it all together to tell the story, it is not a pretty story. It's not a pretty story. It shows a woman who called the cops over 30 times in the course of 2 years about her neighbors and the children. The neighbors were getting tired of her. The cops were getting tired of her. I think she got tired of herself, and it became like a crashing out point. Now, it's parts in the movie that I've been scouring the internet for and I can't find it. And in particular, so any of you out there that know what I'm about to say, point me in the direction of that footage. But in the actual movie itself, there was another piece of additional body cam footage of a cop going to down a private lane road. And if there's a lot of rural areas outside of the cities, so it was like a rural private lane road going to someone's land, right? And you could possibly get turned around in there and get locked in the gate some kind of way. I don't know. So Susan Lorenz, the one who's in jail right now, ended up getting locked in the gate of these people's home on their private land and rammed the gate, y'all. She rammed the gate out. And so that footage was interesting to see. The man, he was all hysterical, like, I don't know where she came from. And she came to the property. We just watching her on camera, just ram and destroy the gate. And I want her to fix my gate. And then when the police went to her house to confront her about the gate, she was hostile. So clearly was points throughout that movie that lets me know that she was cracking. She was becoming unhinged, Susan Lawrence. Now, this part right here, if you watch the documentary on Netflix, this is probably the opening scene from the documentary that we're about to react to. And I just wanted to kind of react and share some of my commentary of things that I was screaming at the TV, during this time. Right, because we can all say hindsight is 2020, right? First, I want to say my condolences to the Owens family, to AJ Ajike's Owens' family, her kids, her mom, because they lost a relative, they lost a loved one, and to me, in my opinion, I think it was unnecessary, because I'm gonna point some things out that is just like so many opportunities. But this was just probably their first initial time that the police went out there, right? So that's what we're gonna react to.
What time their licenses?
So that's Susan Lawrence in the black shirt right here. She's the one that calls the police constantly on the other lady's kids.
Matches. I was supposed to move, and then I ended up having the surgery, so I'll be moving shortly.
She said she would be moving shortly. This was probably like a year prior to what happened. She should have just stuck to her guns and moved. And I also can have a little empathy there because, especially if you're renting, which it looks like she was renting, rent has gone up in the last 5 years, like tremendously, significantly. So being a single person, renting, who knows what her income was like, it probably was hard to shop around and find a comparable place for what she was paying. My opinion, I don't have no facts on that. So I can see probably, and I'm just, weighing the pros and the cons. So I'm thinking that might have been a reason as to why possibly she didn't move right away, because she probably, prices, right? But if that is the case, then I think that it could have been some things like maybe avoidance, because, well, let's continue before I go in.
You said you haven't been over here that long?
I've been here actually 2 years.
She was there for 2 years.
I think she's been here 3 years then.
Okay. But this actually has the correct address on the registration.
Okay.
What?
What time did this happen?
It was actually happening when I was calling you.
Okay.
So, like I said, at that point when I started calling you, because she wouldn't get out of my face, she just kept standing in front of me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't.
The video footage, the Netflix, the way they put it together, whoever put that documentary together, the painting of the picture. But right now she sounds more so innocent, and she sounds like, I didn't want her in my face.
And what's your social, if you know? And I said your hair is black, brown, blonde.
No, it's actually brunette. It's this lady coral. It's starting to get really gray.
And your eye color, you told me, is the, you said blue eye?
No, I'm not blue eye. It's more like a haziness.
Okay.
Brownish hazel, whatever.
And the phone number that I can get back to you, is that the one that?
352-777-5909.
They just let that go, didn't they?
777-5909.
I guess that number don't work anymore.
I'll be back for you.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that was like, you ever watch a movie and it's like the foreshadowing, right? And you'll be like, oh man, I remember when they said this. And it kind of like eerily foreshadowing. It was a lot of foreshadowing. To me, that was one where she said, I'll be back for you.
Fine, still right?
Now, I know innocently enough, she's talking about completing the complaint, but a lot of foreshadowing. So now she's walking over to the neighbor who she's just, having the feud with. And that's AJ Owens. Ajika, I think it is, Owens. So these three officers have a conversation, right, about sharing their opinions with each other about the dispute, right? And listen to what they say.
My thing, it wasn't necessarily deliberately to hit her.
Yeah, she said she just threw it behind her and she doesn't know if it hit her.
So they're trying to decipher if it was on purpose because she threw the sign at her.
Public property. You can't.
By the way, if you hear a lot of the screechiness, it's the audio in the video. That's not my audio, so I apologize if it gets like a little like maybe distorted or screechy like. That's not me, so I do apologize.
Where?
I mean, it's not hers though.
When you rent somewhere, it's not your property.
Consider, but to me.
So right here, and I'm with this officer right here. I don't know if you see my mouse. I always do that. You see my mouse right here. I'm gonna go back a little bit. The woman officer, the black woman officer, said you could kind of see she has a little bit of bias towards bias in favor, I should say, of the children and the mom who's disputing with the other lady. I don't want to get colorist or throw color in there, but the black lady versus the white lady. Okay? So she seems like she's leaning empathetically towards the black family. The white cop says, let's go back a bit so we don't miss it.
Property. You can't.
Where?
I mean, it's not hers though.
It's not her property.
When you rent somewhere, it's not your property.
Consider, but to me, that's.
So the female officer we're seeing her body cam footage right now, she said, but it's not her property, talking about Susan Lawrence, the white lady. And so the white cop says, so when you rent a place, it's not your property. You would, even though you physically don't own, or maybe, don't own the dwelling, but if your stuff is in there, your belongings is in there, that's where you call home, right? And you wouldn't want to have just random kids, I don't know, on your doorstep maybe, or blocking your doorstep, right? Now, and I'm just thinking of New York style. Here, I get it. It was a field, right? That was kind of like in the middle of the two quad apartments. I think it was like 4 apartment clusters, like on each side. So like 2 clusters of 4 apartments. And then it was like a big grass field up the middle. On this side of the street here, where you see like behind them, faces that field, and the kids were from across the street. And as you can see, the whole neighborhood has kids. The whole neighborhood has kids. It's clearly a kid friendly neighborhood, and the neighbors get along with each other because their kids get along with each other. You can see it. She was the odd one out, Susan Lawrence, in my opinion. But they played basically directly in front of her house. So if she's in her front patio area thing, she's looking at the kids play. She says she worked from home, so the noise sometimes would be too much while she was working. So I understand that stuff. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But let's continue. So he's saying, like, it got to be a little bit of compromise. This cop, I'm just paraphrasing it, but he was saying more so like it has to be some compromise because, if she's bothered by it, kind of keep your kids over here. And she's like, but it's not her property. And he's like, so when you pay rent for a place, this would be okay with you? And she's like, well, considered.
No, I know, but that's irrelevant in what we're talking about public, and she shouldn't be over here. So if you saw her on this property and she said I wanted to trespass, you wouldn't trespass her? So yes, you would.
See his face. He said to his cop or his partner, to the police officer with her hands, that we're seeing her hands. He said, so if you saw her on that property after we told her not to trespass, would you charge her for trespassing? She didn't say nothing. Let's listen one more time.
Pass you wouldn't trespass her? So yes.
Look at his face.
That,
Pass you
Listen.
wouldn't trespass her? So yes.
that,
They say, yes, you would. He said, so you wouldn't trespass her? And she's like basically saying she wouldn't. And he was like, yes, you would. Like, that would be the protocol, the proper thing to do. And if you know that they're feuding, right? Don't be empathetic towards one and not the other. Because it's two sides to the story. So I get what he's saying. And he's trying to be fair. Like, hey, it got to be a little bit of firmness on both sides.
so, well,
You would.
Come here, my dear. We gotta go.
Okay. You got all the information?
yeah.
Okay. We're gonna write it. We need to tell her not to come back over here, even with her dog. There's no right to be over here. She doesn't live here. So if that lady, if we came here and she was standing right here, and that lady said I want her trespassing her. Yeah, we're good, buddy.
See, that's my thing. It's like,
That's the law.
You hear him?
You don't do that in some.
He's basically, in a kind of way, reprimanding the female officer. Not reprimanding, but clarifying protocol. He says, you mean to tell me if you saw her right there, and he came back to her and circled back again and said, so you mean to tell me if you saw her over there, you would not trespass her, you would not charge her for trespassing? And she was like, no. And he was like, but that's the law. Like, if someone says you're trespassing on their property, you have to honor it.
When it happens and you're supposed to trespass her, that's on you. Okay? When you run a place, you're like,
More foreshadowing. Listen to him.
see, that's my thing. It's like,
that's the law. You don't do that and something happens and you're supposed to trespass her, that's on you. Okay?
He said, if you don't do that and something was to happen, then that would be on you. Like, if you seen her over there trespassing after the lady said she did not want her on that side of the property, and something happened after the fact, it could be on negligence. It could be considered negligence on the police part, right? Foreshadowing.
When you run a place, you're allowed to trespass people. Fine.
well, then I should have been able to do it with multiple cases. Okay, so,
Now she's saying that,
come on, just
in other words, she's saying that a lot of trespassing flew by her, allegedly.
tell her no trespassing, just to speak on it, both sides, to say, hey, you can't trespass. They don't have to write up anything about.
No, we do have.
Still-
We're writing up a battery. That's with no arrest.
Okay.
He was like, no, we writing it up. It's just no
Give
arrest.
her a case number. Let her know that you're gonna write up a battery investigation. Right now we're gonna go check this neighbor's camera real quick. We'll see if they're home. If you wanna go knock on that door where the ring camera is and see if they caught anything.
Okay.
You see it?
So we
Yeah. Let's go see if
the doorbell.
I mean, I can honestly say, like, some people might say that the cop that's, the male cop in this conversation between the woman and the male cop, someone might say that the male cop is a little too firm. He was doing too much. But now that we know how it ended, do you think he was doing too much? Or do you think that they should have all been kind of acting like him? All of the cops. Right? Like reprimanding both of them. Like, listen, if this continues, if I got to come back out here, everybody getting arrested. Y'all, we'll sort it out downtown type of thing. You know what I'm saying? To kind of put a little bit of like, okay, they're tired of us. Let's chill. Let's work this out amongst ourselves type of thing. Maybe that could have helped. I'm just hindsight reacting. Okay. I watched a Netflix documentary and couple of things have my spidey senses tingling, so we're reacting.
Check out.
You're all good. I'm just gonna make sure to check out some other things for you.
He told her to go to the neighbor and get the Ring camera footage. Like, let's give everyone clear benefit of the doubt, and let's do our due diligence and investigate properly. So he told her to go over there and check out the Ring camera to see if they saw anything or if it caught anything. She walks past AJ, who is now deceased as a result of this interaction, a year's worth of interaction. She said, "Oh, you're good. We're just gonna go talk to them real quick." I think you should have said the truth. Hey, we're gonna go check their camera footage because I know you're saying one thing, she's saying another, and we just gotta play it safe and make sure everything is on board and see it for ourselves. See if we can catch some visuals for ourselves, right? But it was like, "Oh, you're good. Don't even worry about it." That can kind of make someone feel like, "Oh, I ain't getting in trouble for this. I'm gonna continue." Allegedly. If y'all heard my dog, because he hates the Ring, so he thought that was our door. He made a guest appearance.
Hey,
How you doing?
Deputy King of the Sheriff's Office.
How you doing?
Does your camera pick up on anything that happened? Because we got a call about, I don't know if you're familiar with the white woman across the street. Right across. Straight ahead at you. Because there was a dispute about Miss Ajika, she has a very unique name. It was a complaint about her dog going onto the other's property. Trust.
So if you watch the documentary, right, while this officer was over here talking to this guy about his Ring camera, he said ultimately he didn't see anything, and I think he drives truck or something, and he sleeps during the day and works at night. Simultaneously while she was talking to him, you see over here is some kids, and that officer walked back to her, but he's over there talking. So each officer that was out there, they used all of their body camera footage. So if it was 4 officers, each officer's body cam footage was used, and so on and so forth for each incident. So you see it cuts from her angle, which is how it starts out with the lady cop's angle. Then it cuts over to his angle, the cop that's walking towards us now, like right here where my mouse is in the documentary, and you see the kids talking, and the kids are telling their story. And then it cuts to, remember it was 3 cops there total, right? So it cuts to the 3rd cop, and he's talking to some people on the other side over here, like on the other side, and another mother and some children over there, and they're all simultaneously complaining about the lady, all of them. They're saying how she's mean, she says racist stuff, like they all got a very cohesive story about this lady. So he's coming back over now.
Fast sign she had over there. The other woman, Miss Susan, she picked it up.
She's like, "I'm ready for lunch." That's what she sounds like, the lady cop. Like, I don't even care about this. I'm ready for my break. My feet hurt.
To let her know it was her property, and then Miss Ajit had thrown it back to her. So I wanted to know if your camera picked up on any.
No, not
They didn't pick nothing up?
no dog.
No, it's just I'm sorry. Do you know how far the camera shoots
Yeah,
out?
it sounds
Picks up,
distorted and
picks up stuff in
stuff,
the
but that's
street,
their
and
body
everything?
cam mic, I guess. I
You have
don't
a range
know.
set up on it?
No.
It don't have motion, I mean? That's what I meant. No? Alright, my
So you
man.
gotta get back.
Sorry to wake you up.
I'm lost right now, but okay.
Yeah, well, we were just wondering if your camera picked anything up from what just happened. If it has motion. That's our main thing.
He's like, "Leave me out of
I guess
it."
there's a disturbance out here, so. Alright, man, thanks.
Thank you.
He was like, "Leave me out of it." I'm good.
Okay, so
I get the vibe from the other cop that he believed the lady across the street. It is like a little bit of a conspiracy with the neighborhood. That's just what my spidey senses has me tingling about so far.
since that is found out that is her property, she has a no trespass. So unfortunately, that means can't go over there.
Well, that's fine. I mean, if it's hers, it's hers. But I mean,
Doesn't
Listen
matter
to
if
this
it's not
guy.
hers. She rents there, just like you rent here. You wanted somebody to trespass from right here. You called us and we saw them on the property. They'd be trespassed. The next time we came out, they'd go to jail. Okay? That's the way that works.
all right. I mean,
You have the same right.
Body language. When someone is not receptive to what you're telling them, or if you're reprimanding them and they're not trying to hear it, you'll see body language, like the lean back, the head tilt. Alright. You know how kids, you'll see that with kids a lot. Kids will be like, you'll be like, no, they'll be like, or you tell them something like, oh, you don't think I see when you did that? And they'll start to like do that fidget, like, I'm not even trying to hear you. That's just my opinion.
but I mean,
It doesn't matter if it's not hers. She rents there, just like you rent here. You wanted somebody to trespass from right here. You called us and we saw them on the property. They'd be trespassed. The next time we came out, they'd go to jail. Okay? That's the way that works.
all right. I mean,
You have the same.
And he didn't say nothing rude to her. He said if someone was on your property and you called us and said they were trespassing and we came out here and saw them on your property, it's trespassing. The next time we came back out here and we saw them on your property, we would arrest them. So that's just the law. It's not a, argument who's right, who's wrong. It's the law. If you feel a way about your property, then we can enforce that law on your behalf. Right? So let's continue.
Right that she does. So, I mean, she doesn't want them over there. Don't have them over there. The landlord put a sign there for a reason. That is what it is.
it is.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Your baby's out here.
No, my kids are inside. They only come out to walk the dog. And maybe if we're home by daylight for them to play. Like I was gonna let them play because they never get to play.
What's happening?
Yeah, literally. I told him. I said, stay on this side, and he wasn't even lingering here. He was behind the building.
I just wouldn't even have them go over there because it's an issue every time.
Here it is.
I know, I'm sorry.
Simple.
It is what it is.
I've had the same issue, but
The cop was like, if you see there's an issue, just stop letting him go over there. Right? Because it's gonna continue.
Let's get her a case number.
Vegeta. Yes.
okay.
It's okay.
No problem at all. I understand how you feel. Believe me, that's why I got a house. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
this is our
took
last year. Prayerfully. This is it.
Foreshadowing number 3. She said, I understand how it is. That's why I got a house. That's what the police officer said to Ajika. Ajika said, this will be our last year. Hopefully.
That's why I got a house. 'Cause
Yeah,
I
this is
took
our last year. Prayerfully. This is it.
Prayerfully. This is it.
I didn't know if that was a more. I asked. What she pointed at was like,
And that's another thing. Like, I don't know. Is that a thing? Do people not do that anymore? I remember. I'll do that when I'm looking for property and stuff, especially where you're gonna live for sure. Renting, definitely buying. But I would say if you're looking at an area, you're looking at a piece of property or a place to rent, check it out. I say summertime is the best time to move because you're going to see the block in its prime. Like, look at this block. People are outside. The kids are outside. It's like they look like this is the type of neighborhood the kids would be in the street. Like you're driving through and you gotta like slow down because you know kids are out there. And then you gotta like blow the horn and move them out the way. That's the vibe I get from them, and that's fine. Like that's just a kid-friendly neighborhood. That's the vibe I get from over there. If you know that doesn't gel with your personality, like you want to do your research, you want to do your your research. You want to go out there at nighttime, see how it looks at nighttime. Go out there in the daytime, see how it looks at daytime. And to me, I feel like winter can be deceiving because, it's colder. So you might see less block activity versus the summertime where the block comes alive and everyone's out there. So I wonder, did Susan Lawrence, did she do any research prior to renting this place? Because they said that you heard him say that up until, 2 years she was living there at this point. Right. So for 2 years, she's been going at it with her neighbors about the kids. Right. And then if you watch the documentary, because that's the thing, right? Initially, when you see like the footage like this and everything, it makes it seem like it's her and the black kids. Like she had a problem with the black kids. No, it was about 30 to 40 kids out there. And I might be exaggerating on the number, but it was a lot of kids. It was black kids, it was white kids, it was Spanish kids, it was biracial kids, it was kids. Okay, and they all played together, and they all, made noise, and running up and down next, alongside that lady's house or where she rented, and so I don't know. I think because the lady signaled the black kids for some reason. She had a lot of footage on her camera. Like if you watch a documentary where the kids were kind of taunting her, in particular, those kids were taunting her. There was one scene that had my spidey senses tingling where the police pulled up because she said that they were trying to put a dog in her pickup truck. I think this was her pickup truck right here because you see this leads up to her house, to the neighbor across the street's home. So this is her pickup. And she's saying that the kids were trying to put a dog in the pickup truck, right? So she's like hitting the alarm and doing all this other stuff or whatever. And so she called the police to say like they're messing with her truck and they're putting stuff in her truck and they're trying to put the dog in her truck. So when they went out there, they went back across the street to one of the neighbors and it was like, did one of the kids try to put a dog in the truck? They were like, the dog is bigger than the kid. He couldn't have. But when they initially pulled up, they went to the kids first. They went to the little sister and said, is your brother trying to put a dog in the truck? And she said, what color's the dog? She didn't say no. She didn't say yes. She said, what color's the dog? Guilty. I'm just saying, kids are kids, right? And would I be surprised that the kid possibly tried to put the dog in the truck? No. Kids are kids. And they called her Karen. So the neighborhood Karen, it probably was their pastime to terrorize her. Every neighborhood has one of those. When I growing up, I grew up in the Bronx. She was a black lady. And she ain't like nobody's kids. And she cussed everybody out. And don't breathe on her window because she was on the first floor. Like, don't even stand underneath her window. It's a problem. So everyone has them. It's just like the level it gets to, right? And for some reason, they always clash with kids. Those type of individuals too. But let's continue.
The only thing that she had in that dot, but she didn't admit to that being involved.
Exactly. That's why I wanted her to point.
But her skin all blends in and looks the same.
Okay.
He said, write the report. This officer was very reluctant to do the job. And the guy was like, the other officer was like, write the report, do this, do that.
You're in trouble for making an arrest on the cases being documented, and if she wants to go further with what she asked for about an injunction, she has to go to the courthouse. Okay?
Say, give me a 1099. Yeah, I thought you wanted me on the radio more.
Just say 1099.
1099?
She must be a new officer or something. And during this time, like if you watch the documentary, every angle of this particular day is caught on film. because each officer had a different angle, right? And talked to the different neighbors. All the neighbors hated her. She didn't stand a chance. She didn't stand a chance. The neighbors hated her. She was a little unhinged, though.
Hey, Miss Susan. So right now, I'm gonna issue a card to you
Okay,
with the case number on it,
okay,
because I'm gonna write it up as a battery. Just no arrest can be made at this time.
okay,
But it has been known to her
okay.
that this is your property, and for them not to come back on.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Told him. I mean, it's not. We can't be out here all the time to make them. I would try and ask the landlord to try and get you a camera, maybe if he could do that. I don't know, since he's probably selling the place.
Unfortunately, now he's gonna lose this sale.
It's already for sale. He already
He
listed
told
it.
me
Okay.
he was selling it. I actually had started the mortgage application process. So I was gonna buy it. I thought it was gonna be a cute little investment, but I'm not gonna be threatened.
So she's all over the place. Susan Lawrence, this lady right here. At the beginning, she was like, "I'm gonna move shortly, so I didn't change over my address on my driver's license because I had a surgery and blah blah blah, and I didn't get to change it, but it doesn't matter because I'm moving shortly." That's what she told the female officer at the beginning. Then now this guy said, maybe talk. Now this officer said maybe talk to the landlord and get get a camera for the property or something. And then he said, I don't know how willing he'll be, how willing he'd be to do so, being that you said he's selling it. He's selling the place. She said, oh yeah, I started the mortgage process or the mortgage application. I was gonna buy the place. Why would you buy a place where you don't like the neighbors and the neighbors don't like you? Like, that's weird to me. So I felt like she was kind of all over the place. Like, she was becoming unhinged.
By people and everything.
No, I understand that. It's not worth it.
No.
Okay, so this.
Put them on there.
The officer said, it's not worth it to buy this place. No, like, why?
Put those up.
I just didn't expect people to do it.
Yep.
Sorry.
And if you want to go, you're able to try and go to the courthouse and do it that way. Just find
What's
out.
her name so I can get a restraining order?
It'll be on the report.
Will it? Okay.
Yep.
So,
It's gonna be active right now.
Okay.
We'll call you. We're gonna try. Maybe if something else pops up, like someone
Okay.
had video or something,
Okay.
we'll call you back in a couple days
Okay.
and check with you. And if we
Okay.
don't have anything further, then we'll close it and then
Okay.
just go up to
So,
one of the districts.
yeah, because everything kind of came to an end in 2023. I think around like July of 2023. Let me take a look here. So this is February of 2022. Just, me like to double check stuff. Let me see here. June 2nd of 2023. So this right here, this footage that we're looking at is really what starts out the documentary, and that is February of 2022. At this time here, she's telling the people, she flip-flopped. She said she was going to move shortly. Imagine she would have just moved. Imagine. But then this officer comes back and is like, oh, I was going to buy the place. And he's like, I don't think that would be worth it. This is virtually a year before everything happened.
District offices and get a report.
Okay.
We can't issue a report that's active, like an active
So
case.
the fact that I didn't actually get her throwing a sign at me.
Nobody actually saying that they saw it. No independent witnesses that are credible. So,
How convenient.
unfortunately,
Well,
I know. I'm sorry. I can't just go arresting people.
No.
That should have been a reality check for her right there. She said, so the fact that, she threw the sign at me because I wasn't hurt, I can't, get any charges pressed. And she was like, well, the officer said that, and no one said that they seen that happen. And if you look at the body cam footage or just look at the Netflix documentary, the different angles of this particular day, you could see that they were all in the same gang. It was neighborhood versus her.
I understand, but they were all out here.
I
They all saw
know.
it.
I understand.
Yeah. What are your work hours?
I work from home. I work anywhere from 9 in the morning to 9 at night, depending on.
If there's any more issues, call us right away, okay?
Okay, I will.
So you need to probably put, this is the card number referencing this case.
Okay. But this is a bad blood for that. Had
Yeah,
nothing
we
do
tried
with
to tell them just to stay over there. You stay over here. Y'all keep to yourselves. And
I never heard of
I
it.
know. No, listen. I know. It's more. I have to say it to both parties.
No, I understand.
So, alrighty.
All right, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, your sign, you gonna place it back out?
I'm going to put it well, it's on that side.
Okay.
So now she's gonna put her sign back up and then basically like done. To me though, what was interesting about this whole thing, like the more footage you watch, right? Because this was just the first encounter, and this was just from the female officer's point of view that I was reacting to, because it was just like a lot of foreshadowing that I wanted to react to, plus just different things there. But I feel like, well, I'm gonna let them continue, but I just kind of feel like if they were a little bit possibly more firm right here, like saying, hey, look, you see, the officer was trying to be firm, but been firm to both of them. Like, you're either gonna have to get along or move along at this point, because it's too much. And this is before it really culminated. Because if you watch the documentary, once again, you'll see where she goes to the police station. So they got that on footage. When she goes to the police station and she's bringing them footage of the little boy, that the black girl's son. And she's like, look at him. He's taunting me, this, that, and another. They were like, okay. They were like, not even trying to hear taking the complaint. Because it's almost as if they knew her by name at this point. Then that night when she got caught up in the people's gate and rammed herself out the gate, it's like you could see the unscrewing of the mind, the unhinging coming about. She started becoming more aggressive in her talks. Wait a minute, I'm opening the door when I'm ready. And this is her talking to the police. You know, she wasn't like this in the beginning. It's just like whatever was happening over there between her and the neighbors, it made her become unhinged. Now, to save your mental health and to save yourself and self-preservation, because she's doing 25 years right now, the older lady is doing 25 years right now because of killing the black lady. Unaliving. Sorry, YouTube, I love you. I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better with the words. But you get my drift. This was a big major headline story, and now it's like, it was big on Netflix last month. It's still big up there on Netflix. It's called The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix. And the reason why they called it The Perfect Neighbor is because one of her phone calls, to the police complaining, she says, I don't even know why they bother me or think, they treat me like this. I'm the perfect neighbor. I don't bother anyone. I don't do nothing. I'm the perfect neighbor. And the irony of that was she's the one that did the unaliving. But let's continue. So now this is just like another overall outline of the whole situation.
Cam footage showing the many times cops were called by Susan
Look how many
Lorenz,
times. Look.
the woman now charged with shooting
Look
her
at all of
neighbor
this.
to death. The complaints
all of
were
this.
nonstop.
If y'all hear my
day
dog,
and
he's
night.
cutting up
Most
today,
of them
y'all.
involving calls about her neighbor AJ Owen's children.
Every time I turn around, the kids are always screaming and stuff like that. Someone's throwing stuff at this window. I asked them to move.
Good luck.
They refuse to move. It's this constant barrage of
stupidity.
One video shows Owen talking to deputies after her children were accused of walking their dog on the woman's property.
The other day she tells my son, I'm going to have you arrested.
Deputies seem exasperated over Lawrence's constant calls. One even whispered the word psycho after a visit.
Psycho.
They tried to play peacemaker.
We try to tell them just to stay over there, you stay over here, y'all keep to yourselves.
It all boiled over last month when Owen went to confront Lorenz for allegedly yelling at her children and throwing an iPad at them. Lorenz is accused of opening fire through the front door, a case of feuding neighbors that escalated into a tragic ending.
Yeah, truly tragic. So once again, I send out, my condolences to AJ's family, the black woman in the video, because she is no longer here as a result of this feud with her neighbor. The older white lady is in jail serving 25 years. So some will say justice is served. I recently, because I saw it, when I saw it, of course, you're going to start looking up stuff and like, damn, I didn't know it was that, it was unhinged as it was. I don't know. If you watch that, it's very compelling, that documentary. So I did a little research. That's when I stumbled across this, footage that I'm reacting to. But a couple of other things I stumbled across. In the video, she has a sister. In the documentary, in the movie, the documentary, Susan Lorenz has a sister. After the shooting, she went to jail and they arrested her and they bailed her out of jail. But, actually, the first night they took her down to question her, but they didn't arrest her right away. But they told her, you cannot go back to your home. We're going to put you elsewhere, like in a, like protective custody, like a hotel type of thing, because they didn't want her to come home and have like the neighbors retaliate against her, because the neighborhood was tight. You could tell if you watch the documentary, the neighborhood was tight with each other and they were all against her. So she calls her sister and she has her sister come and meet her at the house to, kind of help her get her cats or whatever so she can go. I don't know if she was staying with the sister or not. When they pull up, the body cam footage is catching that because the police officer drops her off. The sister's there at the house waiting for them. The sister has a little boy with her. And the sister's just like, oh, hey, like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm shocked. And she's like, whatever. She moves her sister out the way with such aggression. Her sister said, oh, excuse me, and moved to the side. Like, and I was like, yeah, she's aggressive towards anyone. It wasn't a black or white thing, and that's why when a lot of people are like, oh, it was racially motivated. Yeah, it could be racially motivated. It has hints of racism there, but I just think it was an unhinging that was taking place. Right. And then just kind of spilled out into this neighborhood. But I think it was truly unhinging. Another thing, though, I wanted to kind of stay on the sister really quickly. So she moved her sister out the way, right? When she moved the sister out the way, you get to see a good view of the sister and the little boy, but they blurred his face out for these reasons, probably. The little boy is the sister's son. Now, the sister looks around her age, too, okay? And they said that she had that baby when she was in her 40s, and the baby was about 3 or 4 years old at the time of this footage. He was a special needs child, he is, I should say. He's a special needs child, and he was just like talking. He was like, Auntie Susan bad, Auntie Susan bad. He just kept on saying it, Auntie Susan bad, Auntie Susan bad. Guns are bad, guns are bad. So he's repeating what his mom said, right? So the sister to Susan is the mom. And so Susan moves out the way, moving her cats or whatever like that. Come to find out, last year, 2024, the sister, and I'm going to tell you her sister's name because, I like to deal in facts. The sister. Let us see. Yeah. So her name is Susan Lorenz, and her sister's name is Ellen Lorenz. She was arrested recently for neglecting the child in that video. Child abuse. Okay. So 2023 June, she gets arrested for feuding with the kids and shooting the mom. The next year, her sister goes to jail for neglecting her kid. And then when it was time to go to court, they dropped the cases because she said, you know what, just keep him, put him up for adoption. I can't do it. Something happened to those women in their childhood. That's all like my spidey senses are telling me. Something definitely happened to those women in their childhood that caused them to hate children. But I'll leave it right there. You all tell me what y'all think. Did y'all see the documentary? Do you think that she was becoming unhinged slowly but surely because of the children, or just was it other aspects of things in her life? I think other aspects of things in her life, and the children were the catalyst on top of it. You know, like the straw that broke the camel's back type of thing. But I ultimately feel like they had some type of mental, physical abuse growing up, and it definitely happened in their childhood because both of them, Susan and Ellen Lawrence, both hate the kids. So what was that about? But anyway, I'm going to leave y'all there with that. And you all join me in the comments. Don't meet me there, beat me there. And y'all tell me what y'all think about that. But what I'm going to do is hit you with the motto and hit you with the brand. If you like anything I do, tell a friend. If you don't like anything I do, tell a friend. And from my lips to your ears, you know I love you, but I need you to love me. So go ahead, turn on your notifications. Hit the subscribe button, okay? Go ahead and hit the like button. Join me in the comments and then share it. Tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. And until next time, it's your girl Gongalee and the She Could Talk to podcast, and I'm out. Peace.
They talk about it. They talk about it.